Question number 2. A tree breaks due to storm, and let's assume that this is the tree, and this dotted line which I have shown here, that represents the breaking line. It breaks apart into two parts, and the upper part uh, becomes the hypotenuse of the triangular shape, which I have shown in the second diagram. So the original tree is this complete vertical line. It breaks apart into two parts, and then the upper part uh, kind of becomes the hypotenuse, and then it has been given that. So these are the two parts of the tree, and it has been given that the broken part, the tip of that original tree, makes 30 degrees with the ground. In that case, we are assuming that this is at 90 degrees. The tree was standing, making an angle of 90 degrees with the horizontal. And this case, for 30 degree, this will be opposite side. Let's call it as X. And the diagonal, hypotenuse, which is the opposite of 90 degree side, the largest side in the triangle will be hypotenuse. Let's call it as R, and the remaining side will be adjacent. So once these three sides are completely defined, now we will be able to write down the trigonometric ratio for the same. Now here we want the complete triangle, so that means we are interested into this remaining vertical height. At the same time, we will be interested into this hypotenuse, and if we add them, that should give you the total height of the tree before falling. So we are going to solve this question into two steps. In the first step, we will be calculating this opposite side. Now, it has been given that the top of the tree touches the ground is 8 meters. So now we can correlate opposite and adjacent. So this has been given as 8 meters. Now we want to correlate opposite and adjacent. The trigonometric ratio which combines them is tangent. So I can write an equation. Tangent 30 is opposite, which is this particular side, and adjacent. And this is already known. So you try to always correlate one unknown side with one known side. So we try to find out the ratio which combines what you are trying to find out with what is already given. In this case, opposite is what we are trying to find out in step 1. Adjacent is already known, so that will be your trigonometric ratio. Opposite over adjacent will be tangent ratio. And then tan 30, with the help of standard trigonometric ratio, we know that it is 1 upon root 3. Adjacent is given as 8, so we can cross multiply and we can calculate x as 8 over root 3. Remember, this is only half of the story. We still have to calculate the hypotenuse that we will be doing in step 2. In step 2, we will be doing cosine ratio. Why? Because now we want to calculate the hypotenuse, which is this particular side, and we already know the adjacent. So now we are going to correlate adjacent with hypotenuse. So that ratio will be cosine. Cosine 30, we know from the standard trigonometric ratio, is root 3 by 2, and adjacent is 8, hypotenuse is r, which is unknown. And we can use the same technique. We can get the value of r. Once we know the value of x and r, it's just a matter of like adding them together. Remember, these are in irrational format. However, the denominator is same, so we can combine them by only adding the numerators. It will be 24 root divided by root 3. Technically, this answer is correct, but we do not leave it as it is. We prefer the denominator to be a rational number. So we'll apply the technique of rationalization. We'll multiply and divide by root 3. And in that process, the denominator will become root 3 times root 3, which is 3. And the numerator will be 24 root 3, which you can further simplify as 8 root 3. And that is your final answer. The total height of the tree before falling, which is this complete vertical height, which is same as this broken vertical height, and the added with this hypotenuse together is 8 root 3.